Have you ever had that feeling of doing everything right, but the results just don't seem to appear? You stopped putting sugar in your coffee, stopped eating desserts, and even avoided that chocolate you love so much. Yet, nothing changed. What if I told you the problem might not exactly be the sugar? It may sound shocking, but many people fall into a silent trap. They focus on eliminating sugar from their diet while ignoring other factors that are sabotaging their results. Imagine this. You spend days resisting the temptation to eat something sweet, believing you're on the right path. But at lunch, you load your plate with rice, pasta, or even foods that seem harmless, like fruits and natural juices. Without realizing it, you're creating blood sugar spikes that can be just as harmful as that piece of cake you turned down. And here's the warning. Focusing only on sugar can lead you into a frustrating cycle of trying and failing. You cut out sugar, but you're still tired, hungry all the time, and your body doesn't seem to respond as it should. It's not your fault. The truth is, something much more complex is happening inside your body, and no one has told you this before. That's why, in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly why cutting out sugar isn't enough, and how you can balance your diet intelligently to have more energy, control your health, and finally achieve the results you've been longing for. So, stay with me until the end, because what you're about to learn here could transform your relationship with food and, most importantly, with your body. Get ready to discover a secret that will change the way you view eating. Let's go! Now let's talk about one of the biggest misconceptions that many people have when trying to lose weight. Believing that by eating only healthy foods, the weight will automatically drop. It sounds logical, right? After all, you swap cookies for fruit, soda for natural juice, and white bread for whole wheat. But what if I told you that this alone may not bring the results you expect? Let me tell you a story that might help you understand. Imagine a person who decides to completely change their diet. They stop eating sweets and ultra-processed foods and start focusing on foods that everyone considers healthy. Sweet potatoes, brown rice, fruits, and even that famous green juice. However, weeks go by and nothing changes in their weight. Worse, sometimes they even gain weight. Why? The answer lies in a crucial detail that is often overlooked: the quantity and combination of foods. This is where the secret lies. Eating healthy is important, but it doesn't mean that all healthy foods are suitable for your weight loss goal. For example, foods rich in carbohydrates, such as fruits, tubers, and grains, are great for health, but they can become a problem if consumed without control or the right combination with other nutrients. The big point is that by eating healthy, you might be ignoring the impact of each food on your body. It's not enough to simply choose a food that is good for your health. You need to understand how it interacts with the rest of your meal and how this affects your metabolism. And that's exactly what I want to explain to you now. How you can turn a healthy diet into a strategic diet for weight loss. Let's dive into the details. If you're trying to lose weight, you've probably heard that carbs are the ultimate villains of any diet. But is it really necessary to eliminate them completely to achieve your goals? Or are they being unfairly blamed? Before you start cutting out bread, rice, or that fruit you love, let me explain something that might completely change the way you see carbohydrates. Picture this. You decide to follow a low-carb diet. At first, everything seems amazing. The number on the scale starts to drop, you feel lighter, and you believe you've finally found the perfect solution. But over time, fatigue sets in, hunger becomes harder to control, and that piece of bread that was once just part of your breakfast turns into an irresistible temptation. Suddenly, you feel defeated, as if you'll never be able to stick to the diet. Sound familiar? The truth is, carbs are not the enemy. They're an important source of energy for your body and can absolutely be part of a balanced diet, as long as you know how to use them to your advantage. The problem isn't the carbs themselves, but the quantity, the quality, and how they're consumed. For example, eating large amounts of simple carbohydrates, like white bread or refined sugar, can cause blood sugar spikes, leaving you feeling hungry sooner and making weight loss harder. On the other hand, complex carbohydrates, found in whole grains and fiber-rich foods, have a more gradual effect on your body and can actually help control hunger and weight. One of the secrets to enjoying carbs without sabotaging your goals is combining them with other nutrients. Did you know that pairing a carb with a source of protein or healthy fat can slow down the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream and prevent those blood sugar spikes? This simple adjustment can completely change the way a food affects your body. So before you swear off carbs for good, stick with me, and I'll show you how to make smarter choices, balance portions, and use carbs as allies in your weight loss journey. After all, living without carbs forever isn't just challenging, it's unnecessary. Let's dive into this together and figure it out. Now that you know you don't need to cut out sugar and that carbs aren't the ultimate villains, it's time to learn something essential: how to make smart choices in your meals. After all, the secret to healthy and sustainable weight loss lies in eating strategically, without giving up everything you love. Picture this: you're hungry and preparing breakfast. In a rush, you grab white bread with butter and a coffee with sugar. Seems like a simple and harmless meal, right? But without realizing it, you've just created an unbalanced meal that can cause blood sugar spikes and leave you hungry within hours. Now imagine the same situation, but with a different approach. Instead of white bread, you choose whole grain bread. You add a protein source like scrambled eggs or a slice of cheese, and include a slice of avocado, rich in healthy fats. What changed? Everything. Making smart choices is about combining foods in a way that creates balanced meals, helping you control your hunger and stay full longer. And it doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. What you need is an understanding of how nutrients interact with your body and how to combine them in simple ways. For example, carbs, like bread, rice, or fruit, are important, but they shouldn't stand alone. When you pair them with proteins, like eggs, meat, or cheese, and healthy fats, like avocado, olive oil, or nuts, their impact on your body changes completely. This combination slows down the absorption of carbohydrates, prevents blood sugar spikes, and keeps you feeling full longer. Adding fiber to your meal is another powerful trick. Fiber helps control appetite, improves digestion, and reduces the glycemic impact of your food. That salad before lunch? It's not just there to decorate the plate. It actually makes a difference. The big secret here is balance and personalization. Every meal is an opportunity to nourish your body in the best possible way, without eliminating foods or living with extreme restrictions. So, the next time you're building your plate, remember, choose a carbohydrate, add a protein source, and include healthy fats and fiber. It sounds simple, but this practice can transform your weight loss journey. Now, how about diving even deeper into this concept and learning how to apply it to your daily life? I'll show you how to create smart and practical meals to help you achieve your goals in a light and sustainable way. Let's get started. Have you ever tried cutting sugar completely out of your diet? It sounds like the perfect solution for quick weight loss or better health, doesn't it? After all, sugar is often seen as the ultimate dietary villain. But here's the warning: this radical approach may not only be ineffective, but could also end up sabotaging your progress. Now, imagine this. You decide to eliminate all sugar from your life. In the first few days, you're motivated, saying no to that cake at the afternoon coffee break, avoiding even sweeter fruits, and obsessively checking labels for any trace of sugar. But over time, something starts to change. You feel irritable, anxious, and suddenly, that craving for something sweet turns into an uncontrollable urge. On a weak moment, you give in, but it's not just a small piece of chocolate, it's the whole bar. Afterward, guilt sets in, accompanied by a sense of failure, and the cycle begins all over again. Does this sound familiar? The problem with completely cutting out sugar is that by imposing such a strict restriction, you trigger a psychological effect known as the scarcity mindset. When you forbid yourself from eating something, that food becomes even more desirable. It's like sugar turns into a hidden treasure, and the more you try to avoid it, the more it takes over your thoughts. But it's not just the psychological aspect at play here. Consuming sugar in moderate and planned amounts can absolutely be part of a balanced diet. When you learn how to include it in your meals in a controlled way, it stops being an issue. Even more importantly, eating something sweet occasionally and in moderation can help you avoid binge episodes, which are far more damaging to your health and weight loss goals. Another issue is that when people cut sugar completely, they often replace it with alternatives that seem healthier but aren't always the case. Excessive use of artificial sweeteners, for example, can cause digestive discomfort and even disrupt your gut microbiota balance. And perhaps more concerning, a restrictive relationship with food can lead to a distorted view of what constitutes a healthy diet. The key here is balance. You don't need to live off desserts, but you also don't need to ban sugar entirely from your life. Instead, focus on making mindful choices. If you want to have a piece of cake on the weekend, that's okay, but balance it out with lighter, more nutritious meals throughout the day. When sweets are planned and consumed in moderation, they stop being a problem and instead become part of a healthy lifestyle. Ultimately, the secret isn't to eliminate, but to learn how to moderate. Eating is an experience that goes beyond nutrition. It's also about pleasure and social connection. And when you realize that you can include sugar in your life without guilt or excess, your relationship with food transforms. So take a deep breath, set your fears aside, and let's explore how to find that balance in a practical, realistic way. Carlos, reducing sugar without cutting it out completely. Carlos always had a sweet tooth. Over time, however, he realized it was affecting his health and energy levels. He tried cutting sugar out entirely, but couldn't sustain the change. He felt deprived, and whenever he gave in, he would overindulge. So, Carlos decided to adopt moderation. Instead of eliminating sugar, he started choosing the right moments to enjoy it. Rather than eating sweets every day, he allowed himself a small treat only on weekends. Additionally, he cut back on foods with hidden sugars in his daily routine, such as sodas and processed snacks. The result? In 6 months, Carlos lost 6 kilograms, 13 pounds, and improved his blood sugar levels, all without resorting to restrictive diets or feeling deprived. He found a healthy balance that fit his routine and personal preferences. Fernanda, adding proteins and fats to meals. Fernanda had always been cautious about carbohydrates, but decided to follow the advice of parent carbs with protein and healthy fats. Instead of meals consisting solely of rice and beans, she began including eggs, chicken, and avocado in her dishes. She also learned to pair fruits with protein, like an apple with almonds as a snack. Within a month, Fernanda noticed her meals were more satisfying, and she no longer experienced constant hunger. Best of all, her blood sugar levels became more stable, and she avoided hunger spikes. Fernanda also lost 3 kilograms, 6.6 pounds, in a month without making any drastic dietary cuts. Juliana, picking her battles and avoiding excess. Juliana was a big fan of fast food and processed snacks, but over time, she noticed how much they were impacting her health and overall well-being. By adopting a mindset of moderation and mindful choices, she began to gradually change her habits. Instead of eating fast food every week, she limited it to 1 meal out per week and in smaller portions. She also started planning her home-cooked meals more effectively, incorporating vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy carbohydrates. The result? Juliana lost 4 kilograms, 8.8 pounds, in 2 months and felt more energetic throughout the day. The most important takeaway for her was that she didn't feel deprived. She simply made more balanced choices, and that made all the difference. Luana, prioritizing sleep and reducing stress. Luana always knew that stress and lack of sleep affected her body, but she hadn't realized how much they directly impacted her blood sugar levels. By following advice on reducing stress and improving sleep quality, she started implementing simple practices like meditating before bed and establishing a consistent bedtime routine. She also looked for better ways to manage work-related pressure and took more frequent breaks throughout her day. Within 2 months, Luana noticed her blood sugar levels were better regulated, and she felt much more energetic and mentally clear. She lost 5 kilograms, 11 pounds, and her overall health improved significantly. Marcelo, incorporating regular exercise. Marcelo decided to start exercising regularly after learning about the benefits of movement for blood sugar control. He began with 30-minute daily walks, gradually increasing both the duration and intensity. Over 3 months, Marcelo lost 8 kilograms, 17.6 pounds, achieved better glucose control, and felt much more energized and motivated. He realized that physical activity not only supports weight loss but is also key to improving insulin sensitivity. These examples demonstrate that you don't need radical changes or extreme diets to achieve results. The key lies in making mindful decisions and adjusting your eating habits, lifestyle, and daily routines. Each small, conscious choice adds up to create significant long-term results. These individuals achieve positive outcomes by focusing on balance and moderation, without depriving themselves or living under strict restrictions. So, if you want to see these kinds of results in your own life, start making these changes gradually and consistently. It's not about being perfect, it's about being intentional and making wise choices. The journey to a healthier, more balanced life starts now with small daily actions that build up to make a big difference in the future. Now that you've followed this journey, you've probably realized that the path to a balanced and effective diet isn't about cutting out foods or following strict rules. It's about understanding how your body works. Sugar, carbohydrates, and the foods you eat aren't your enemies. The real issue lies in the lack of knowledge about how to make conscious and balanced choices. Remember, weight loss and health go far beyond restrictive diets. It's not about cutting out everything you love. but about knowing how to strategically include those foods in your daily life. When you understand that it's not the sugar or a slice of cake that sabotages your health, but rather the frequency and amount you consume, everything starts to make more sense. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about learning to make peace with food. Here's the most important point. Small changes, like avoiding blood sugar spikes by combining foods intelligently, make all the difference. You don't have to be perfect overnight. The goal is to progress, not to punish yourself. Instead of cutting out sugar or carbs, you'll learn how to use them to your advantage, building a healthier relationship with food. Another crucial thing, you don't have to do this alone. Knowledge empowers you and gives you the autonomy to make better decisions, but everything starts with the first step. Start now. Reflect on your choices, observe your habits, and gradually apply what you've learned here to your daily life. Trust me, consistency is more powerful than any shortcut or magical solution. If this video was helpful for you, don't forget to leave a like, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to the channel for more tips and information that can transform your health. After all, your journey doesn't have to be lonely or confusing. We're here to guide you, one step at a time. Thank you for being here, and see you in the next video.